And we're live! Hello all and welcome, and I am the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. Stupid shit people say, episode number 7. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. So this is the first time that I'm live streaming my Stupid Shit People Say series. For those of you who don't know a lot about my content, or who may be new to me, maybe you're watching for the first time on DLive, which is a brand new platform that I'm streaming on. So if anybody out there is watching on DLive, hello! The Stupid Shit People Say, it's pretty self-explanatory. I comment on dumb shit people say. It's something I'm going to be doing now once a week on the weekends. And I might do another piece. So I might do that on Sunday, another piece on Saturday that is essentially answering people's questions, giving people advice, acknowledging the smart things they say or the good questions they have, or just them wanting advice and asking whoever out there is online that wants to answer. So I'll search out these questions and answer them. And then on Sundays, I'll do the stupid shit people say. So the neutral stuff, smart stuff people say that I want to address, I'll do on Saturday. And the stupid shit maybe on Sunday. So this is the 7th time I'm doing this. And usually I don't do it on live stream. Usually I do it, you know, whenever the hell I feel like it without being on a stream, less pressure. But regardless, I figure what the hell, have some fun today and save myself the trouble of having to upload it later. So I'll just live stream it directly. So yeah, and also I encourage those of you out there watching on YouTube to please go and follow me on DLive. DLive is a very good platform. I think it's very, very good competition for YouTube. It's pretty good. And it also has monetization that's completely 100% anonymous based on Bitcoin technology or some kind of Bitcoin. I don't know exactly how it works, okay? But I do know that you can pay them via PayPal, credit card. You buy a certain number of coins, and then you can just dole them out based on whatever content you like, whoever's content you like a tip. Similar to how YouTube has a, what do they call it, Super Chat. Except they don't take a humongous chunk of profit like YouTube does. So it's a pretty good platform. So please go follow me there. And also, for those of you who are watching me on live stream now on DLive, I'm sorry I can't look at your comments right now, and I wouldn't generally respond to them anyway. These weekend videos are going to be closed in regards to people commenting. They're essentially me addressing the stupid questions and comments people say online. I answer questions Monday to Friday, where I do a call-in show from 7 to 8 p.m. New York City time. So any questions that you were to ask while I was doing the live stream on Saturday or Sunday, I would probably answer during the week. And during the week, I know that there's a window that I can overlay into the stream, or that at the very least allows me to answer DLive questions without having to be on DLive. I try to limit the amount of processing power I devote to other online activities so that my stream doesn't drop a lot of frames. So I can't really respond by going online and going to DLive. It takes up a little too much processing power. Again, I want to devote everything to the stream and my live streaming software, so I hope you understand that. I know that, again, there is software, there is an app, so I'm going to look into that so that I can answer your questions in the future. Those of you who donate, that is, those of you who do donate, you deserve to have those questions answered in real time. Again, unless it's on the weekend and you're responding to something that isn't an interactive show like my call-in show is Monday to Friday. And those questions that were asked on the weekend, I would answer on Monday. For those people who actually donate something, I need a lot of help with this show. I want to expand, and, can't do that for free. Nothing is free. Unless you're a socialist, of course. And even that is not free, but, you've fallen for the bullshit that things can be free. So, all right, I hope that answers any questions you might have. So let's jump right to the stupid shit. All right, number 1. Now, I scour the internet, and this takes me hours. So the truth of the matter is this can take me as long or maybe even longer to prepare for than my Monday to Friday call-in show where I do social and political commentary. So, yeah, I have to search these comments out, so it's not easy. All right, number 1. I'm not going to tell you where these are from, by the way. I'm on a lot of different social media platforms, Gab, Twitter, Facebook, so it's a mix. All right. And a lot of these will be dumb questions or dumb statements. All right, let's get to it, all right? Number one, how can a multiracial country preserve its own culture? It can't. What do you think's happening to America right now? Why do you think America is such a mess, huh? Why do you think things were so good when it was, well, of course, a lot of you out there weren't alive to remember this, but why do you think things were so good when America was 90% white? And why do you think they're so bad now when Americans are like 63, 67% of the population? It's because once America was a homogeneous population, and now it ain't, okay? Multiracial countries cannot preserve their culture because you see, culture, a lot of people have this idea that culture somehow comes from the magic dirt. Wherever you live, that's going to influence your culture in a very minor degree. But what influences culture most is your race, your ethnicity, your IQ, your history, which is, again, influenced by your biology, by your IQ, your average IQ of your race, that is. A lot of things contribute to culture, but culture is a reflection of the people that live within the confines and the bounds of a specific geographical area and have a certain shared history, okay? If you start introducing outside elements into that mix, the melting pot, well, it fucks things up, okay? It fucks things up, all right? You can't maintain a culture, okay? You can't maintain a national identity because now you have all these new forces that are vying for control, right? They're vying for influence, and they want to have power too. And they're slowly but surely getting it and displacing white people. So, yeah, multiracial countries can't preserve their own culture. Not forever. American culture is already under attack, is white and patriarchal and evil and oppressive. So, yeah. It's not going to last much longer. I think by 2045, white people, it's been estimated, will be a minority in America. Yeah, just wait to see how we're treated then, huh? I guarantee you, it's not as well as we've treated those people who are racial minorities in America now. Like, I don't know, Asians who do better than white people, and they're less of the population than blacks and Latinos. Boy, you would think if there's some kind of oppression against minority groups that the minority, the smallest minority, would be doing the worst. But instead, they're doing the best. Yeah. All right, number two. Can religious beliefs affect scientific thinking? They spelled thinking wrong. T-H-I-N-G-K-I-N-G, thing, king. Oh, boy. I guess English isn't their first language. Let me see. Now, the G is nowhere near the K, so that ain't a typo. But anyway, of course, look, all you have to do is Google creationist, intelligent design, science. These people, a lot of these people, they will actually go to university and get real degrees in science. Some of them will get PhDs, and they'll do this just so they can push their religious beliefs. They'll literally go through 8 years of university or more, get a doctorate, and they won't be influenced in the least in regards to taking a deep critical look analysis of their religious beliefs to see if they're actually true under the light of the scientific method. They'll do none of that. They might adopt the scientific method, but they'll employ cognitive dissonance when it comes to their religious beliefs. And then they'll try to use their title as scientist to push intelligent design and creationism like it's some kind of science. They're even trying to teach this shit in school alongside actual science. So yeah, religious beliefs can and do affect scientific thinking insofar as people will pretend to be real scientists. And again, I guess it's not pretend to a large degree because they've got the PhD supposedly, but are they really scientists? Are they really scientists when they're dishonestly trying to present ideas that are crackpot ideas that have no basis in science whatsoever as actual science? I don't think so. But anyway, the answer to your question, which I think is pretty dumb, is yes. Number three. Next question. Can someone sex without love? You forgot to have. Of course. You don't need love. You don't need love for sex. I mean, that's been proven with women's liberation, right? The women running around, banging everything in sight, losing their ability to pair bond, seeing men as nothing more than big, giant, walking wallets. Nah, they don't love those men, and those men don't love those women because those women have no virtues. So, yeah, absolutely, you can have sex without love. I think that's a dumb question. Number 4, is marriage a trap? Yes! Yes, it is! Duh! The fact that you're asking that question means you have some good idea already that it's a trap. I mean, why are you asking? That's obvious. Of course it's a trap. It didn't used to be a trap because, you know, women used to have, well, they used to need more to get a man than just their poon, right? But, of course, now, that's it. That's because that's all they have to offer, right? That's all they have to offer. They don't need any more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Marriage is a trap. It's a trap designed to steal your shit. Okay. So the next question shows a fundamental lack of understanding of economics and how the world works. Listen to this. So why does Dunkin' Donuts throw, and they didn't write throw away, they write throws away. Why does Dunkin' Donut throws away the leftover donuts instead of giving away to poor people? You mean instead of giving the donuts away to poor people or giving them away to poor people? This is so stupid. All right, so let me explain a little about economics here. There's donuts to throw away because people buy them. Okay? If people didn't buy the donuts, there wouldn't be any donuts to throw away. Okay? There would be no donuts at all. If they start giving donuts away to people, what happens? Less people will buy their donuts. Then they will make less donuts. And eventually they won't make enough profit, enough money to stay economically viable. And Dunkin' Donuts will go out of business. And then there'll be no donuts, you idiot. Stupid. Businesses can't just give shit away. And by the way, the fact that there's plenty, that's good. That's why the donuts are so cheap, right? Because they have so much plenty, so much excess that they can afford to throw the freaking donuts away. You want that kind of plenty, because if you didn't have that kind of plenty where they could afford to make all these donuts, the donuts wouldn't be so cheap. And again, they can't give them away for free. Then nobody would buy. Everybody be pretending to be poor. I'm poor. Can I have a dozen glazed? Come on. They're not a fucking charity. Yeah, you know who wrote this and asked this dumb question as a communist. Yeah. All right. Number 6. Did some of these questions I don't understand. They're so dumb. But that's the whole point, right? To laugh at these people. I'd give you their names too, but then I might be accused of shaming, promoting hate speech, or bullying, because, you could seek these people out, possibly. So I must let them remain anonymous, unfortunately. All right, number 6. Why aliens are not humans? What? What are you talking about? I assume they're talking about space aliens and not people from Mexico, because they're human. Bleed a different species, subspecies, race, whatever you want to call it, but they're human beings, right? Okay, so why is, somebody from Alpha Centauri who's flying around a fucking dish-shaped spaceship with graviton drive and shit that uses focused gravity, pulses and waves, and latches onto space 1,000,000 miles away and pulls it close, and, pushes against the space behind them, and then before you know it, you've traveled 1,000,000 miles in this split second, because you didn't really travel, you warped space. Why are they not human? Because they're not human. What are you talking about? We're human beings because we evolved on Earth. The word human is the word we use to define what we are, okay? Somebody else from some planet 1,000,000 light years away or something, well, 1,000,000 light years, that would be another fucking galaxy. All right, let's say, but, of course, I would assume that you can travel between galaxies, if possible. But anyway, let's say 1,000 light years away. If something, someone, some person, I'm calling it person because, I'm assuming they have sentience if they can build fucking spaceships that can fly across the galaxy. If this person is from another planet and is not human, it's because they evolved on a different planet. They're going to have a different makeup. They might be made up of different base chemicals. Like human beings are based on carbon. We're carbon life forms. Could be something from another planet is based around silicone, because maybe silicon is the predominant element on that planet, while for Earth, the predominant element seems to be carbon, and hence we are comprised of carbon. Get it? Boy. Okay. Number 7. What's with the human male obsession with human female posteriors? I'm going to guess you ain't had anal sex with a broad. If she got a nice ass and it's tight. Some good stuff. But seriously, that's where all the good bits are. That's where all the good bits are. Yeah, we like kissing, but that shuts them up. They can't talk, right? We like the bits that aren't yammering away 24/7, right? The vagina can't really talk. I mean, unless we're talking about queefing and such, but that's a whole nother thing entirely, and unintelligible and not speech, by the way, so that's fine. But yeah, it's not her mouth. And we like the mouth, too. Anything that involves something that'll shut her up in regards to the mouth. But the nether regions are the best parts. Are you kidding me? They're the best fucking parts. They're the parts that feel the best. They're the parts we want. And the mouth, just to shut her up, you know? Seems like a dumb question to me. Maybe the person that wrote this is a virgin. I don't know. All right, moving on. Number 8. This question just seems dumb to me because, you know, these are the kind of things you learned or would learn from a real man or a father that was a real man. How could I go about building confidence? Really? Don't men teach this to other men anymore? See, I've talked about this before, how the line of real men has been broken, and too many men have been raised by single mothers in the past several generations, and then those men went on to essentially bang broads who didn't want anything to do with them because I need a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Of course, you know, she really does need a man, just, you know, not directly, because she can get the same money from the state. She can get more money from the state, which is, you know, men's money. But I don't need you. I want the state. Then I don't have to deal with your crap and your socks on the floor and picking up after you and cooking for you, right? So, you know, the state frees her from her oppression and slavery to men. Yeah, right. Give me a break. Some slavery. Having somebody take care of you 24/7 and pay all your bills. Jesus Christ, I wish I had that kind of oppression and slavery. But yeah, we don't have those kind of men anymore. I'm a real man. I was raised by a cocksucker who wasn't much of a real man, but I had other male role models, all right? And I learned the fucking way. But I'll tell you what, the line between the real old men of the past and modern men have been broken. Again, too many single mothers along the way for sons 3 or 4 generations ago when feminism really got a hold to now. Not very many men these days have been raised by men. Or if they had been raised by men, those men were raised by single mothers, and then their fathers ended up being pussies because they were raised by single mothers and they didn't learn what it meant to be a real man. So how can you go about building confidence? You'll have to find something you're good at and then master it. Maybe several somethings. Confidence comes with achievement and objective reality. Yeah, you got this fucking self-help bullshit, build self-esteem nonsense in school where teachers are running around telling kids everybody's fucking special, everybody gets a fucking trophy. Here's a medal! For what? You breathe. What the fuck? We're not going to keep score. Yeah, nobody's going to keep score, right? No trophies for achievement, no trophies for merit. No, you just have a pulse, so you deserve one. You're entitled to one because you're special and unique and great without having to do anything. And of course, kids know that's bullshit. And if they don't, they grow up to be people with very little self-esteem and very little self-confidence, and they ask stupid questions like this about how to build fucking confidence. Achieve something in your life. Find out what you're good at. Self-knowledge, self-awareness is the way. That's step number 1. You have to know yourself. You have to take stock of who you are and what fulfills you as a person. And then you choose those things you enjoy most and you focus on them until you're good at it, until you've mastered it. Doesn't matter what it is so long as it's something that you enjoy. That's a stepping stone towards self-confidence. Achievement in your life and also in your work. Strive to be as good at your job as possible and find that what you love to do that fulfills you in your personal life and master it. All right, next. Number 9. Isn't it stupidity to argue if there is God or there isn't? Neither theist nor atheist can prove it. Well, first of all, you can't prove a negative, number 1. And atheists don't try to disprove God. Okay, now there's people that are called anti-theists, and those people go out of their way to argue against the existence of a God. But an atheist is just somebody that doesn't accept the proposition because they've been given no evidence to prove the claim. If you tell me you got Bigfoot in your garage, what was that movie? Harry something, I don't know, I had John Lithgow or something, some fucking family hit Bigfoot with their car and took him home, and he was living with them. If you got Bigfoot living in your fucking garage, okay, and you want me to believe that Bigfoot is real and you got Bigfoot living in your fucking garage, you can take me to your house, open up the fucking garage, and show me Bigfoot. There's your proof. You've proven your claim. I mean, maybe it's Michael Jordan in a fucking monkey suit, but I'll look at the fucking, fur and shit, see if there's a zipper, I'll examine the face and all that, and see how bad he smells or anything, and just, I'll assure myself that it's a real Bigfoot, all right? But where's your evidence for God? There's none. I'm not even saying there isn't a God. Again, you can't prove a negative, and I'm not going to argue against your claim that has no evidence to begin with. You're the one making the claim. It's on you to present proof that your claim is true. It's not on me to present proof that it isn't because I'm not making a claim. I'm just saying I don't believe you because you showed me no evidence. So if you come to me and say you have Bigfoot in your fucking garage, and I say show me evidence, and you say, meh, I don't have any, but you should believe me anyway because I'm really, really sincere. Fuck you! Yeah, that's like telling me there's a fucking unicorn in your garage or a fucking purple dragon. What, am I going to believe you? Show me evidence, bitch, or shut the fuck up. So atheists aren't seeking to prove anything, unlike theists who are constantly running around and proselytizing about God is real, but I have no evidence, and I don't need evidence because I'm a gullible motherfucker, and I choose to believe on faith, and by the way, you can believe anything on faith. No! I'm just saying I don't believe you because you have no evidence. Which, by the way, everybody accepts for everything, except their fucking sacred cow, God. Okay, next. Number 10, you can't stop abortion from happening. People can do things that you don't like. Get over it. Yeah, spoken like a true intersectional fatty feminist, all right? Which would never get pregnant, by the way, anyway. Nobody wants to impregnate your fat land whale ass. Let me tell you something, okay? Oh, I'm an empowered Wayman. You can't stop me from killing my baby. All right, look. Yeah, we can stop it from happening. Just like we stop murder from happening by passing laws against murder. You can say, well, it doesn't really stop murder because people who plan to murder people, they never think they're going to get caught anyway. Yeah, but I guarantee you, if you said, okay, murder's no longer illegal, the number of people getting killed or doing killing, they would go way the fuck up, okay? Deterrents do fucking work, all right? And you're killing it. Okay. It does depend on the week, all right? I'm very much for the heartbeat bill, and we all have to come to some kind of objective standard of what makes that an actual baby. When is it went from being a clump of cells to an actual person? And I think the heartbeat requirement, meaning that if you can hear a heartbeat through like a stethoscope, I think that's a good objective standard to start with. Now, I'm not talking about rapes or incest or any of that other stuff. Those are like less than 1% of abortions that happen nowadays anyway. And that, by the way, is how they got Roe v. Wade passed. And that Roe case, that was a lie. She was never raped. She lied about it. She was pressed to lie by the progressives. Yeah. And by the way, that woman that lied, she spent the whole rest of her life, she became a born-again Christian, and she spent the whole rest of her life feeling guilty and trying to get Roe v. Wade struck down. And by the way, my argument against it isn't even about the whole my body, my choice bullshit. My problem with abortion is that it destabilizes society by encouraging women to bang, bang, bang away until they can no longer pair bond with a man, they can no longer connect emotionally with a man, and they see him as nothing more than a wallet, okay? It destabilizes the foundation of society in the Western world because the foundation of society in the Western world is the family. And it destroys the possibility of forming strong, stable family bonds. That's my main problem with it. But yeah, I can absolutely stop you from doing things that I don't like if those things are immoral and should be illegal. Okay, certain things should be illegal. Murder, theft, okay? Things that are bad for all of us, and the bad outweighs the so-called moral arguments of my body, my choice. It's not even your body, by the way, okay? You're an easy bake oven, all right? But what's inside you isn't part of the easy bake oven. That's like saying, oh, well, the Pop-Tart I just put in the fucking toaster is part of the fucking toaster. No, it's a Pop-Tart. The fucking toaster's cooking it up. But it's separate and unique from the fucking toaster. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this. Too much more. It could be its own fucking video. All right, let's move on. Number 11. How I be a genius. Any idea? And no commas and all fucking grammar errors. Perhaps you might want to learn English. I mean, I'm going to guess the person that wrote this isn't a native English speaker. Maybe they're French, and maybe their French is brilliant, and maybe they're brilliant. Although maybe not, asking a question like that points to a negative in that regard. Negative on the brilliance! Okay, so how can I be a genius? Any idea? If you're not already a genius, you can't be one. I'm sorry, all right? Genius, high intelligence is largely IQ-based. It's 80% or more genetic. So, I'm sorry, you can't move the intelligence needle too much. You can work hard. You can work hard. You can do your best to maximize the tools you already have and increase your understanding and your knowledge and your familiarity with a particular subject. But you're only going to be able to push that needle so far before you run up against the limitations of your own biology. It's kind of like over-throttling a CPU. You can push it to a certain extent, but if you push it too far, the CPU will explode. You'll have permanent blue screen, right? Thankfully, that's not going to happen for a person, right? Let's hope. Yeah, you can only push that needle so friggin' far. So genius, it's largely genetic. You can't do anything about it. If you don't have the genetic components to be a genius, you will never be a genius. It's not about study. It's not about magic dirt. It's not about moving from some shithole, dirt poor country to America and getting a great education, so now I'm a genius. No. No. Genius is not about education. It's largely genetic, okay? All right. Number 12. Why do walls stop the wind? What? Well, they only really stop it unless you're real close to the fucking wall, right? I mean, depending on how high that wall is. If you're 100 feet from the wall, you're still going to hit the wind. The wind is still going to hit you, right? Yeah, because wind goes over and then, air pressure and all drops back down. So, you might not feel the wind if you're 100 feet from the wall. But if you're like a half mile from the wall, you're going to get hit by the wind. So the wall just stops the wind to those who are, really close to the fucking wall. Stupid question. Well, that's the whole point. Number 3. Why do... so I'll read it as it actually is. Why people tend to imitate others. Why don't they build their self-image? Meaning, why do people tend to imitate others? Why don't they build their own self-image? Well, this is a good question. Good question. Now I got somebody who imitates me. I'm not going to name their name. They know who they are. They don't think they do, but they do, okay? Why do people not form their own self-image? It's a very, very... Actually, it's a good question. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, I marked it. I'm not going to answer that today. I'll answer that next week, okay? Because that's a good question, actually. All right, I marked it. It's a smart question, not a dumb one. Never mind. This is supposed to be about dumb questions. I put a mark to all the good questions, and those I'll include in next week's number 1 podcast, my very first one, answering good questions and giving advice to people who ask it via good questions, not these dumb ones. I make fun of the people who ask dumb questions. All right, next. Is peace the only way to stop war? What? Stupid! Woo! Oh, dummy. What a dummy. Okay, first of all, peace is just the absence of war. And if there's war, you can't suddenly say, let's have peace. What does that entail? You stop fighting? Wouldn't that be... I don't get it. Wouldn't that just be very cowardly? Isn't that called pacifism? If I stop fighting the Nazis will stop fighting me. Yeah, that worked real well for the Jews, right? They didn't fight back. Look what happened to them. Peace. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, that Gandhi bullshit, right? You should fight hate with love. Yeah, that don't work. Your enemies don't love you. They hate you and they want you to die, okay? So you can only stop evil by fighting it, okay? On its own fucking terms. Hey, I want peace. Well, I don't, bitch. I'm going to chop your head off. Uh-oh. They don't ascribe to my ideology. What do I do? You fight them and you destroy them before they destroy you. But I want an excuse to be a pacifist so I don't have to fight because I'm a fucking coward. Well, I can't help you there. Number 15. What is the difference between terrorism and patriotism? Really? Well, patriotism is having pride in your country and good, positive feelings about your country. It's very closely linked to nationalism, while terrorism is acts that inspire terror, usually via shooting, bombing, blowing shit up, usually yourself included. What do you mean? What's the difference? I don't know anybody can ask that question. Do you know what words mean? All right. Next, number 16. What's the secret of the universe? Well, if I knew that, it wouldn't be a secret, you pinhead. It's just dumb questions. Dumb questions. It's like asking me, where's Jimmy Hoffa? Well, if I knew that, I'd sell it to a fucking tabloid and make a fortune. All right, next question is a meme, actually. Okay, so we got a picture on the left of a good-looking broad from, it looks like the 50s. And what I guess would have been considered then a conservative swimsuit. Good-looking broad. Nice-looking brunette. And then on the right, we have this chick, I guess, today. She looks like she's about 100. Liver spots and white hair and... It looks like one of those reptilian people. Not attractive. And so the byline goes like this. So here's what the text underneath these two pictures says. You got the before, which is a beautiful woman, and then you got the after, the ugly old bitter hag. This is life. You are not beautiful. Really? I think I still look okay at my age. But I'm not beautiful. Men are not beautiful. They're handsome, right? So you're not beautiful. Just your age is beautiful. Well, if age is just a number, okay, I'm not even going to go there. It doesn't matter how you look and what's your skin color because everything will change with the age. But my skin color won't change, okay? If I'm black, I'm black. If I'm white, I'm white, right? You are not fat. I am kind of fat. I've put on a lot of weight, so you're wrong there. Slim, that's true. Small, wouldn't that kind of go hand in hand with slim? Maybe short, I guess. But if I was small, I could still be fat, right? You'd have to be small and slim. Ugly. I'm not ugly, no. Black or white. Well, no, you're one or the other. Well, not technically. I mean, you could be brown, too. Or yellow, okay? As they used to call Chinese people and Koreans. You are you, and that's important. Well, me is white and fat and past middle age. Okay, this is just another attempt to make everything relative. Yeah, okay. I see. Postmodernism at work. Okay, moving on. Number 19. If your love wants to kill you, will you still love her or him? Really? This is a question? Okay, I'll answer that succinctly. No. I'm not going to love somebody that wants me dead. What are you talking about? Of course, this goes along with the belief that love is not a choice. It's a feeling. You have no choice. You just fall in love. You love who you love. You love who you love, and you have no control of that. No, I got plenty of control of that. What are you talking about? This is, of course, written by a woman, I think, or a girly boy, femme man, male feminist soy boy. No, I have self-esteem. I have self-respect. I wouldn't love somebody that wanted to kill me. What, are you kidding? How little regard for yourself would you have to love somebody that wants you dead? Spare me. All right, number 20. Oh, geez. Oh, boy. Telescopes and microscopes do not enlarge reality. Well, that's true. The reality doesn't get any bigger. You're just able to see the aspects of reality that are so small that your eye by itself can't see them. It's a tool. They only enlarge images of reality. Wait, what? Everything seen through a lens is an image of reality, not reality itself. Well, I got news for you. These glasses are lenses, motherfucker. I'm looking at the same shit. I'm seeing the same shit I see with or without them. Just a little more clear with them. But you're telling me that the lenses somehow are showing me something that's not reality. What am I seeing if I take them off? Oh, you're seeing the same thing? So you're telling me my eyes as well are simply showing me images of reality. This is solipsism, essentially. It's a philosophical school that's an offshoot of idealism that teaches reality is not real. There is no objective reality, that the mind is primary, reality is secondary, and we in our minds create reality, or we are simply seeing images, sort of like if we lived in the Matrix, essentially. Reality is nothing more than a projection, and our brain is sitting in a vat somewhere with a bunch of fucking electrodes attached to it, and, we're just being fed an image. Yeah. Okay, where's your evidence for this? No evidence. But our eyes have lenses, so everything we see is only an image of reality. Where do you get the evidence for this? There's no evidence for this view, by the way. For this ideological view of the world, which is not fucking philosophy. Oh, lovely. Can this be true? No, it's not true. So stupid. All right, next. Oh, this is interesting. So here's a meme. Paranormal facts. It's funny. Paranormal? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the word paranormal is a stand-in for supernatural. You got a bunch of hippies, hippy-dippy morons out there that believe in psychic powers and magic and demons and fucking ancient gods that are half dead but are somewhere, half conscious and influencing the world, and little pixies are running around we can't see, and there's ghosts and goblins and fucking gnomes living under your porch and shit. But they're invisible, conveniently. But they exist. Yeah, so it's a word to try and make you think that, not think about supernatural, because supernatural is retarded. It's stupid. Somebody says the word supernatural, it's like, you believe in the supernatural? So it's a stand-in word, okay, to make the supernatural more acceptable to people. And there's even classes and studies in the paranormal. I think you can get degrees in parapsychology and shit. I mean, this shouldn't surprise anybody. You can get a fucking degree at a university in TV studies and gender studies and race studies. So sure, why not have a degree in paranormal studies? Yeah, as if any of this shit's real. All right, so it's got a picture of a ghost and some kid in bed. Oh boy, let's read this. Yeah, paranormal facts. There are no paranormal facts. You can't prove the paranormal through science. I have a recording of my dead mama. Okay, sure you do. So listen to this. Children are more likely to see a ghost. A popular theory is that we're all born with the ability to connect to the other side. Are you sure that's a theory? I think you mean hypothesis. In terms of science, it's not a theory, okay? Because a theory is that which argues, which proves, which presents you with the arguments for something that's been proven to be a fact, okay? A theory in science is a fact. The theory of evolution, germ theory, the theory of gravity, these things have been proven to be facts, okay? So let's not use the term theory for this nonsense. Hypothesis. So we're all born with that ability, but as we grow up, we become more cynical, disbelieving of things unknown. The ability disappears. Yeah, okay. Some children perceive ghosts as imaginary friends. Signs like having sleeping problems, talking in dreams, sleepwalking, staring into empty space. Do kids do that often? Having conversations with nothing, talking about but this sounds like mental illness or just being kids. Kids have very vibrant imaginations. They often invent imaginary friends. That doesn't mean it's a fucking ghost. Talking about imaginary friends, sharing their toys and food with a seemingly non-existent being signifies the presence of an unknown entity in your house. Or you could be a hippie parent who believes in psychic abilities and all this other nonsense, and you're essentially projecting your beliefs onto your children's experience instead of, accepting it for what it is, a kid with an active imagination. So next time, if a child talks about an imaginary friend, you know what that is. Yeah. It's an overactive imagination of a kid who needs to get out and make some real friends because he or she spends too much time alone. All right, moving on. 1 second here. All right, next. Things you don't need to apologize for. I love this. This is great. Loving someone. I think that would depend on who you love and if that love affects another person. Like, say you're in a relationship, you're married, you pick the wrong guy or gal, and that guy or gal turns out to be a fucking nut job. And believe me, there's always red flags, which many people choose to ignore. And then they have kids with someone, and it ends up being a toxic relationship that damages the child. And then that child is harmed by you loving the wrong person. So you would need to apologize to them for, well, I don't know about having kids with them because, you know, if you didn't get together and have kids, that person wouldn't exist to need to be apologized for, too, in the first place. But you definitely would apologize if you stayed with that person. If you continue to stay with that person in that toxic relationship, which is harming that child. So, yeah, you would need to apologize for that. I mean, if you're in a relationship where the other partner is beating up the kid and you stay there because you love them, yeah, you would need to apologize to that kid someday because you're fucking up their head. Next, saying no. Okay, in regards to what? I can think of some things where saying no is bad. I don't know. Okay, number 3, following your dream. Well, that's stupid. Of course that could be bad. What if your dream is to be a major league pitcher and you got one leg and they don't allow prosthetics? Especially not those ones with the carbon fiber. Have you seen those? People running around and winning races and shit because they got no legs below the knee, but they're wearing those carbon fiber, which actually give more spring and more power than actual legs do, calves and feet. So you got these guys running around with no fucking legs, but they're beating everybody else. But seriously, though, what if you don't have talent? What if you want to be like Celine Dion, but you sing like that... what was that fucking guy that did the American Idol? and he was a Korean guy, and he went on to get his own record because he sang so bad. What if you're that fucking guy? Well, he got a record, didn't he, because he was so bad. But that's an isolated case. But what if you're a really bad singer, but you have a dream to be Celine Dion? If you follow that dream, you're going to ruin your life. You're going to ignore the things you're actually good at to focus on something that you're shitty at. So, no, following your dreams is oftentimes not a good thing. Number 4, taking me time. Okay. Your priorities. Wasn't that like taking me time? 6, ending a toxic relationship. Well, that's good, yeah. But doesn't that kind of clash with the number 1, loving someone? I don't know. Number 7, your imperfections. What? Really? What if they impact other people? What if my imperfections impact other people directly in my life? Wouldn't I have to apologize at some point? Number 8, standing your ground. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong and I'm still standing my ground? Wouldn't I have to apologize for being wrong and standing my ground anyway? You don't need to apologize for a delay in your response. I don't know, too vague to address that. And number 10, telling the truth. I'm not an absolutist. I can think of instances where being honest would be bad. So, I don't know about that one. All right, let's move on. I think I've mined the humor of that about as much as I can. Number 23. Our educational institutions produce unemployed graduates because our parents are not well connected. Socialist wrote this. There's a communist. Oh, that's why we have a lot of unemployed people. Because these people who their parents are not connected. It's not because these people are dumb or because they chose to study something that really had no market value. No, it's not their fault. It's because their parents aren't well connected. You think so? Yeah. I'm not going to argue this with somebody who's listening who's a lefty because, no well-reasoned logical argument would convince them anyway because they're ideologues and they don't think for themselves. They just refer back to their fucking ideology, their ideological framework to give them their answer. Not actual critical thinking. All right, number 24. Is money an achievement? Absolutely. It's a representation of your labor and your work. Of course it's an achievement. You want to know who would question that being an achievement? Somebody who hasn't made a lot of money, but wants to have something that they can hold up and say, is this achievement? It's not money, but is this achievement? By the way, you can achieve things without having a lot of money, of course. But to say that being wealthy is not an achievement, that would be dishonest. Because of course it is, okay? I'm sorry, poor people out there, and it's not the only type of achievement in the world, but it is an achievement to accrue a lot of wealth. It takes a lot of effort, and if you have a lot of wealth, you have to be very intelligent. Not all the time, not all the time. Some people, I guess, inherit wealth, but those who inherit it and are fucking stupid, they lose it by the end of their life, right? They lose it. So, if you actually built up your own wealth, and by the way, 2/3 of wealth is earned. Only 1/3 of it is inherited. And that 1/3 generally tends to go right back out into the world to be accrued again by somebody else, okay? That wealth gets spent, it gets wasted by stupid people who inherit it. Now, some people who inherit wealth, they're good with it and build upon it and create more wealth and in turn jobs and such, but a lot of that gets wasted. But 2/3 of wealth is built from the ground up by people who had very little or nothing, okay? It's an achievement to be wealthy in the majority of cases. In 2/3 of those cases, it's an achievement. And you should be proud of it. You should be proud of being wealthy. It means you worked hard. It means you persevered. It means you put your nose to the fucking grindstone. And that wealth is a physical representation of what you've accomplished. So absolutely, wealth is an achievement. Next, 25. Can you accept a porn star as a wife or husband? What? No. This is such a dumb question. You must have some real low self-esteem. Why would you want a porn star as a wife? Good guy. Have you seen some of these broads? They'll have sex with 2, 3, 4 guys a day. If you think having a baby is going to stretch a woman out, have you seen how big some of these black dudes' cocks are? It's almost like a baby's fucking head, but it's a foot long. Slamming in and out for hours. Every day. Whoo! Whew. Talk about stretched leather. Holy shit. And that poon is going to become as hard as leather, too. You want a nice, soft, warm space to put your salami into? You're not going to get it. That bitch's vag is going to have fucking calluses on the inside. No way. No. I don't want a fucking porn star as a wife. Are you kidding me? I don't want a wife anyway, but a porn star? Oh, my God. How little self-esteem would she have to do that as a living? She's literally got nothing else going for her, right? Doesn't have any real virtues, doesn't have any real brains, doesn't have any real skills. She's just going down on dudes to make money. Well, she's a whore, literal whore. I mean, the majority of Western women are anyway, whether they like it or not, whether they want to accept it or not. But porn star? That's a step too far. I'm sorry. You're a porn star. I want nothing to do with you. You're dirty. You're disgusting. No. Why would I want that? You want to talk about sloppy seconds? I mean, let's forget about the possible STDs, okay? Yeah, you say, well, realist philosopher, these people get tested on a regular basis once a month. Once a month. There's a 30-day window there where they could get anything from anybody. And a lot of times these broads are doing very high-risk sex. Lots of anal, double penetration, and sometimes that double penetration is in just one hole. Talk about the tearing and ripping that could go on. And so besides the possible STDs and the total lack of self-respect, that's like sloppy 100s. I mean, and how much sex is she really going to want to have, huh? She's having sex all fucking day, and then she comes home to you, and why would you want to be with that sloppy thing? I slept with 6 men today. I sucked 3 cocks and had 3 big black cocks in me. 1 in my ass. 2 in my ass. Let's go to bed, honey. No. No, thank you. Next. The Bible says love your enemy. The Bible's a dumb book. It's like reading Harry Potter and basing your life on that. The Bible says love your enemy. So does it mean God loves Satan? Can anyone explain? It's a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale. Satan was just created to, be a cautionary tale, a warning, a threat of doom when you die if you break certain rules. I mean, religion, to a large extent, was created to be a control mechanism for humanity, to stop people from going too far outside the bounds of that which is right, that which is wrong, which is good for society, that which is bad. Although, you could go and purchase indulgences and, break the rules anyway and still get away with it. Money is the root of all evil. Give me money and I'll forgive your sins. But yeah, there's no Satan. It's made up to keep you in line, okay? Made up to keep people in line who had a very poorly developed understanding of morality. So they needed an authoritarian system to keep them in line, to scare them literally almost to death. Well, to scare them in regards to what would happen to them after they died if they didn't act according to certain rules. God loves Satan. Give me a break. Love your enemy. Have you had any enemies in your life? If you love them, you're a fucking moron. All right, let's move on. I stand against pornographers, so are you with me? No, I'm not with you. I like pornography. Are you kidding? Pornography's great. What are you talking about? Pornography's the best fucking thing. Give me a break. I don't have to deal with some angry broad, all right? I can pick the soup du jour of the fucking day. This, that. I mean, I have so many things to choose from, right? And by the way, at my age, I don't have that much interest in broads anyway. Too much work. I let the young people dance around and fucking dance a jig and, do all this shit to win her affections. I'll pass. So no, I don't stand with you against pornography. And I hope nobody else does either. Next. Why, according to the major religions, is sex outside of marriage sinful, dirty, and wrong? Again, it was very important in old times, and it's really important now too, but people have forgotten this because of hedonism, because of embracing feminism, because of women embracing liberation. Yeah, I'm liberated. You're liberated from having a nice wife, a nice husband, a happy life, kids who love you. Yeah, that's some liberation. Yeah. But people used to understand that if people are promiscuous, society dies. The cohesiveness of society goes away, okay? And by the way, it used to be very important, okay, for the man to stick around and stay with the wife and take care of the wife and take care of the kids. It's still important, of course, but now the state has taken over that role, weaponized women against men, encouraged relationships to not work, encouraged women to split up, break up with men by offering them all these incentives, all these little goodies if they do so. Didn't used to be the case. People used to recognize that it's important that a man and a woman stay married, all right? And by the way, women were in many ways, shapes, and forms crippled by childbirth, the necessity of being constantly pregnant until they were very young, until they reached the end of their childbearing years because infant mortality was so high. It was of paramount importance that the man stayed there and took care of that family, and he had to be encouraged to do so. All right? And by the way, it's important that even now he should be encouraged to do so, but unfortunately that's not the case because, again, we've become too decadent. We have embraced hedonism and this idea of just doing whatever the hell we want without consequences. Oh, well, she gets pregnant, we'll just kill the baby. We'll just let her kill the baby. Just kill the baby. And now you got even Democrats talking about killing the baby after it's born. Infanticide. And we put people in jail for that, but, the mother can kill the child. That's okay. But anybody else kills it, you're going to jail. You got people now talking about infanticide, okay, as a form of abortion. This is like the fucking Tower of Babel. This is like fucking Babylon, man. The degeneration and breakdown of social cohesion. Okay, that's why you need to encourage marriage with the father of your child. All right, I'm going to move on. It's a lengthy subject. I could talk about it ad infinitum. But anyway, number 29. Why in such an overpopulated world are so many lonely? Well, human beings are essentially, at their core, creatures of comfort. We will essentially skew towards comfort more than we will toward discomfort and ease of living instead of, lack of ease. It's very easy to sit on social media. It's very easy to play video games where you're essentially connecting with other people via a social network and you're playing the games together. It's very easy to do these things instead of go out and make the effort of meeting real live people. But of course, that kind of interaction rarely makes the majority of people feel not lonely. Now, do I get lonely? No. But I do interact with people on a daily basis, but that's not why I'm not lonely. I'm not lonely because I'm 100% comfortable with me. I know myself inside and out. There's no secrets. There's nothing I don't know about myself. I'm probably the most woke motherfucker you're going to meet when it comes to self-knowledge, self-awareness. And I like me. I'm perfectly comfortable with me, so I don't get lonely. But I can see why a lot of people do. And a lot of it has to do with alienating themselves from other people by indulging in too much social media. And a lot of it has to do with a lack of self-awareness. All right, let's move on. Number 30. Theists are more tolerant. Theist is somebody that believes in a God, logical and sensible than atheists in all aspects of life. Why didn't you tell that to the 200,000 dead women that were burned alive for being witches during the Inquisition? Why don't you do that? Why did you talk about the tens of millions that Muslims who are theists have taken as slaves because they're unbelievers, and, the Quran and Hadith and all this teaches, it's perfectly okay to take the unbelievers as slave and to murder 20 million fucking black people and take another 100 million in the past 1,300 years as slaves. Sure. Yeah, theists are so tolerant. Yeah. If you leave this religion, I chop your head off. And by the way, it's not until recent years that the church has become so touchy-feely and all that. It had nothing to do with enlightenment on the part of the church and everything to do with enlightenment outside the church, meaning the actual European enlightenment, forcing the church to change. Theism tolerant. Get the fuck out of here. It's forced to be tolerant. Next. This is a dumb one. They said, think and grow rich, and I've been doing that for 90 days, but nothing seems to be happening. What's withholding the riches? I guess the person who said that, I don't know who they is. And I've never heard this saying before. But I'm assuming that the person that said that assumed that you would know that in addition to thinking about something that would make you rich, that you'd actually have to go out and do it as well. Otherwise, what you're doing is pretty much the same as intercessory prayer or praying, which also has been shown through scientific studies to have no effect. So, think and grow rich. First of all, you have to think of something that could make you rich, and then you have to go out and actually do it. Just sitting there like a fucking monk and meditating on things you think will make you rich for 90 days, you're not going to fucking become rich. Stupid. What's withholding the riches? Doing the shit you're thinking about, pinhead? All right, next. All right. Please help. What's the cure for depression? There's something else I don't understand. I don't get depressed. I know you. For you're lying. Everyone gets depressed. No, I don't get depressed. I'm happy all the fucking time. And I'll tell you why. Because I live in the now. Depression is like a fucking anchor holding you back. Because you set that anchor in the past, or you've set that anchor in the fucking future. Or you've made a two-pronged error. You've set an anchor both in the fucking future and in the past, and you're getting pulled in two directions, and you're in no way, shape, or form existing in the present. If you exist 100% now and are totally devoted to the present moment, you will not be fucking depressed. But you have to be that way 100% of the fucking time. That's it. That's the secret to not being depressed. Don't dwell in your past. Don't dwell in the sufferings and the hardships of the past. Don't dwell in possible futures that you're afraid won't come about, might not come about, that you're trying hard to achieve, but you're not having success, and so you're feeling down about it because you can't make your vision, your dream of the future reality in the present, and you don't see it happening in the future. You have to stop that. Stop that. Live in the present if you want to avoid depression. It's that simple. And also, I think a lot of the time, people really have too much time in their hands. Yeah, too much time in your hands. Come on. Devote yourself to the present moment and doing something in the now. Be in the now. You are just this moment. You're not the past. You're not the future. Those things don't exist. Many of you out there existing or choosing to exist in something that doesn't exist. How could you not be depressed? All right, and the last one, and then I'm going to end this. All right. Why capitalism is more attractive than socialism? Really? That's because people have been convinced that there's this imaginary utopia that could exist if they just embrace this idea. This utopia that, by the way, has never existed at any time in human history. Meanwhile, we have actual successes pointed to by capitalism, 1 billion people raised out of poverty in just the past 20 years alone because some countries embraced just a little capitalism. Capitalism is the way. And of course, capitalism is nothing more than freedom in the economic realm. It's having the freedom to choose who you interact with, choose who you associate with, who to trade with, who to do business with. That's all capitalism is. It's what occurs within a free society where you're free to make your own choices and do what you want without any regulatory control from a big fucking daddy. Meanwhile, to some people, socialism is very attractive because it's someone else taking care of you. It's someone else taking care of you. It's a big mommy, big daddy. They take care of you, harken back to your childhood. Everything's provided for you. Everything's taken care of. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't even have to think for yourself. That's done for you too. Oh boy, who wouldn't love that? Of course it's attractive. It's a sham. It's a lie. It's murdered hundreds of millions of people and led to very low standards of living, right? But it looks attractive at the start. Now, of course, when it actually happens and you experience real socialism for yourself and see the lie that it was, it's too late. You're already living in Venezuela with a fucking dictator who has your life in the palm of his fucking hands, and you can't change things back. And if you try, he'll bury you in a not-so-shallow fucking grave. Because he has earth movers that can dig a really, really deep fucking trench and toss a lot of you in it, okay? So that's why it's so attractive to people. It's easy. It's easy. And it allows people to pawn off responsibility to somebody else. My life's not going well. I'm a minority. It's Whitey's fault. It's rich people's fault. And it doesn't matter. You're poor, you're black, you're brown, you're a woman. You know, there's always some kind of excuse that you can find, right? To pawn off responsibility for why you haven't succeeded in life. Yeah, the problem is reality. It's not me. It's not the choices that I've made. This wonderful ideology tells me it's somebody else's fault. And I like how that sounds. I like not having to take personal responsibility for my choices and being able to lay off responsibility on somebody else. It's good. It sounds attractive, all right? It's like the fucking dark side, man. Ah, feels good. Yeah, but it's evil. It's fundamentally evil. It tells people they don't have to take responsibility for their actions. They don't have to think for themselves. Your problems in life are everybody else's fault, and everything should be free. And if you believe that, you're a fucking moron because there's nothing free because somebody has to work and put out actual labor to accomplish the things you want, to produce the things you want, the services that you want, and claim to need and have a right and entitlement to. Somebody has to make those things. So there's no such thing as free. No such thing. And they talk about oppression. I've been oppressed. You want to talk about oppression? Talk about how oppressed people are in a socialist system where they're forced to give their labor. I have no choice in the matter. I have no choice. I have to provide for you because you have needs, and your needs make me a slave to you. You want to talk about oppression? That's real oppression. In a free society, everybody has voluntary choice. In socialism, no choice. No choice. No fucking choice. From each according to their ability, to each according to their needs. All right, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Stupid Shit People Say and My Responses. Please let me know what you think in the comment section, and please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you're watching this on DLive, please consider throwing me a donation and add in a question that you might like me to answer or a topic that you might like me to discuss, and I will address it in my next show on Monday, which is my call-in show where I will address such things. Also, please consider donating. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to make these shows. I want to expand. And I can only do it with your help. So if you'd like to support my work, please go to therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. Also, therealistphilosopher.com is my website. So you'll find all the links to all my varying content. Whatever platform I might be on, you'll find it there. And please consider following me on Twitter, Facebook, Gab, Instagram. All the links are right there at the bottom of the page. And also consider watching my live call-in show, which airs Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. And again, if you're on DLive, make a donation, then ask a question, and I will answer it or address whatever subject you want me to address on the following call-in show live stream. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. And also, if you'd like to be on the show, please contact me at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's admin@therealistphilosopher.com if you'd like to be on my call-in show, which airs Monday to Friday, and we'll set that up. And that's it. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.